So Flysky GT-5 and Radiolink RC4GS. I've had both of these for a while now. I use it as my secondary transmitter. And as my main one, I use the Flysky Noble. And I'm actually selling this Radiolink and keeping the GT-5. So both of these are very similar. They cost about the same. They're both under $100 budget. This one is about $50 to $60, and this one is about $60 to $70, so slightly more expensive. Anyway, I just want to talk about why I'm keeping the Flysky and getting rid of the Radiolink. So I'll go in terms of, in order of importance. So first of all, to me, the most important is build quality, and the Radiolink is built like a toy. It's built slightly better than toy grade transmitters. So all the plastics is really hollow, and it feels like there is unnecessary like plastics, or like, you know, there's a big bulge here, big bulge here. I haven't taken it apart yet, but I imagine they could definitely, you know, not have all this, you know, extra plastic that is not even good plastic. And you can see, for example, when you turn it on, there is a gap in the screen. There is a gap here, so it's kind of annoying, especially in the dark. And overall, the buttons just feel very flimsy. The sound is even kind of cheap. I'm trying not to hate on it, you know, it doesn't really have any big issues, but it's just, you know, not very, even when you give it to children, you kind of feel like you're giving them like a toy, you know. They probably wouldn't think this is like an expensive or, you know, a serious hobby grade thing, you know. It doesn't have to be expensive. I'm just explaining why I accidentally said the word expensive. Anyway, with the Flysky, everything is built much better. All the plastics are very neat. This is very tough plastic. Doesn't have the feeling of like hollowness, if that's the right word. And all the buttons just feel better. And the sound. So when you increase something, there is like the sound changes, you know, when it's exponentially faster, you know, change. Throwing big words here. Okay, so that's build quality, right? And then to me, the second most important is ergonomics. So the ergonomics, again, the Flysky is built weird. I'm about 175 centimeters, so like 5'9". So basically, it's very average hand, and this feels like it's built for giants. Specifically, the trigger, the throttle. The throttle, when you reverse, it really feels like you have to overextend your finger, you know? It's very uncomfortable for your finger. Like here, this part, you can see there is like a muscle flexing or joint. And the wheel, I don't have complaints with the wheel really. It's just too light. The action is too light for me. With the Flysky, I think it's built for a smaller hand, and everything is reachable much easier. And you can reverse much easier, you know, your hand is not like flexing, overextending, and the feel is just, I think it's exponential. Like the closer you get to the like the maximum travel, the slightly stiffer it gets, and I actually prefer that. The wheel itself actually has no play, very little play on the Flysky, basically none. The Radiolink has a lot of play. And the buttons, I already talked about the buttons. The Flysky maybe has a little play here, but this thing can be removed when you can just pry it out and replace it with another one, or you can 3D print one, you know, make it taller or bigger or whatever you want. So That's the trigger and the wheel. Now we'll talk about the pistol grip area itself. So on the Flysky, you have this rubber grip that you can actually take out and change. I actually haven't changed since I got it because this fits me perfectly. This is an S size and there's also an L size in the box. With the Radiolink, if you don't use the like a tennis wrap, your hand will kind of, shift a little more to the left. So imagine it's just more at an angle. So right now, this kind of push it forward, and without it, it would be something like this. And I kind of had to artificially, create this dent in here for my finger to fall into. Stock, it also has it already here, like has a little bump, to create a little like concavement. Yeah, big words. Anyway, so not a good grip at all. And it's just plastic. There's no rubber anywhere. Has no rubber anywhere on this thing, on this radio. Here you also have rubber here actually. And you also have rubber covers for all your screws. Right, so this was all about ergonomics and build quality, maybe even the looks. Obviously, this looks too chunky. I already said that a lot of plastics is unnecessary. Next is, I guess the last thing, is the antenna. The antenna on the Flysky barely even fits in the in the video. And it doesn't really bend away. This is as much as you can like tuck it away. And it's very prone to breaking. So if you transport this and you just put it in your backpack, you have to be careful. With the Flysky, you can just turn it down like this, basically permanently. I never use it up like that. Sometimes you can, but I never lost signal anyway. So when it comes to performance, they're both about the same. Functionality-wise, they have more than enough features than most people would use, especially if you just bash like me and you don't have any complicated, sophisticated construction trucks with a winch or use 4, 5, 6 channels. So I can not really speak to channel 3, channel 4. No, 4 here, 5 here, 6, channel, yeah, I don't even know. Anyway, so they both have more than enough functionality. I only use about maybe 30% of what they offer, like trim, sub-trim, APA, dual rate, fail-safe, that's about it. So the next area is, I guess, the usability and the screen. So other than ergonomics, everything related to throttle and steering input, I would give the Radiolink an edge despite the screen being kind of smaller, but it's actually better because when you look at it, it's a fully, I guess, matrix screen where most of the things are, I guess you can see they're spelled almost fully. You can kind of tell what is what, and you can use this without referring to a manual. Even though this doesn't have a scroll wheel, which I thought I would prefer because I like scroll wheels on my chargers, this one does have a scroll wheel, but it's less intuitive and a little more clunky to use. So this also has the best placement for steering and throttle trim, because you can just use this and literally change the trim with your other finger. On the Flysky, it's a little more, it's a little less convenient. And the menu, when you look at the menu, the screen is bigger, but this area in the middle, it's kind of unused, And when you scroll around, most of what you use is down here. And this is pre-printed and just kind of lights up when you scroll through the settings. But you can see this is pre-printed, you know. So on this area, nothing else will come up other than SVC on. And the same thing applies for the whole area here. So this just feels a little, you know, a little cheapish here. And you can tell that this is a software that is probably not upgradable, and it is not upgradable. But with this, you also feel like there will be no bugs. On this firmware is upgradable, and in fact, you can hack this 4-channel radio to a RC6GS. It has micro USB input or output? Output for your PC, so you can play some RC emulator games. And on this is, you get what you see basically. So this is the one area where I would say the Radiolink is better in the user interface and just, you know, menu usability, if that's a word. One last thing is that they both have, JST input for your lithium ion or LiPo battery. So this is a lithium ion because I like my transmitters a little heavier. I'm gonna spill its guts a little here because it's really hard to put this on. It's not a good piece. And on the Flysky, I'm currently using the AA batteries, but they take a long time to, you know, discharge, and I have a bunch of them, so I'm just using them until I'm out. And you can even see the quality of the battery cap. This is the Flysky bends, you know, and this is like, it's impossible to bend. So yeah, definitely GT5 better if you know, just use throttle and steering. That's it. I don't care about these channels, and that's why the GT5 is better. As a reference, I use the Flysky Noble, and I mean, you get what you pay for. This is just the best quality out of the three, obviously, but it just looks cool, and yeah, the quality is just different. So yeah, this I'll be selling it. Yeah, look at this play. All right, yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. I'll answer them, even though I have 12 subscribers.